Greetings, family. How are you today? And welcome to another episode of Cultivate Life. I am excited for today's episode. We are going to talk about sound healing and how sound affects our mind, body, and soul. So we have special guest Spencer Lott, and he is from the Love and Peace Wellness Center. And he's going to be speaking with us about how we can use the healing power of sound in our lives. So share out the link and we'll be right back with our guests. All right, family. So we are back with our guests. How are you today?
I am excellent. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy that you can join us for today's broadcast. So when we get started, let's just tell everybody who you are and what you do, and we'll start with that.
So, my name is Spencer Lott, and I go by the Peace of Mind. And that is a mantra that I created, and I call myself the Peace of Mind because I used to have a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, and that led to a lot of physical illnesses and things that manifested within myself from me being in those states of stress. So, the Peace of Mind is who I am. I am a music artist. Since I was a young child, I've been involved in music, and I love the art of sound, especially my favorite genre, jazz. And exploring those sounds, coupled with my battle with, mental illnesses and physical illnesses that derive from those mental illnesses, led me to now being a sound therapist and using sound to heal and to help so many people.
Nice. Great. Well, I think it's very interesting that, I think music is such a part of our daily lives, but we sometimes are not connected until how much of an influence that has. And I know, we listen to music in our cars and at home, and, we can probably feel the emotion and vibration that it makes us feel, but we don't realize the frequency and kind of like the healing way that happens. Now, you said in your bio that you had your own experience with healing and just tapping into how you use sound to do that. So can you give us a little bit more about just kind of your own journey and how you were able to heal yourself with music?
Yes, I would love to. So it all started in about 2014. 2014, the end of the year, I was with a friend, one of my best friends at the time, and we were at another close friend of ours. We were at his engagement party, and it was a beautiful place in the back of the house. Engagement party that we were at, and I was relaxing. We were waiting for the food to be served, and even on the way to the engagement party, I felt very I felt very weird. That's the only way I can describe it. I felt really, really weird, and I never felt this feeling before in my life. And this feeling that I'm describing is I'm going to end up letting you know that it was anxiety. So I felt this really weird feeling when my throat was tight, and I felt my heart beating really fast, and it felt like I couldn't breathe, and I've never experienced this ever in my life. So I'm thinking what's going on? So this happens on the way there, and I'm driving as it's happening, but I'm able to maintain my calmness. And then once we get there, we're sitting there, and we're talking to different people, some of our other associates there at the engagement party. And as time goes on, I start to feel that feeling again, and it's becoming more and more rampant and occurring, and it just keeps like prolonging itself. Now it's not going away. Now it's this thing. Now it's getting worse and worse. And this entire time, people are talking to me. Yeah, hey Spencer, how's it going? And I'm just like keeping my cool as much as I can this entire time, knowing that like I feel like I don't know what's going to happen with me. I feel horrible, and throughout time, it gets worse and worse. And eventually I just tell my friend, I'll be right back. I'm going to go to my car. And at that time, I was making a run for it because I felt like horrible. I felt like crap. My heart was beating very fast and I couldn't breathe. So I went to the car, sat in my car, literally in my car, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, okay, breathe. And my heart is like boom, 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 like beating like, it could have been like 180 BPM, beats per minute. And I'm just breathing. I'm like, what's going on with me? Am I having a heart attack? What's going on? I felt horrible. And eventually he came out there to check on me because I had been gone for maybe like an hour or less than an hour. I'm sorry, like 30 minutes. Of course, your friend should check on you if you've been gone for an hour. Like it shouldn't take them an hour to check on you. So about 30 minutes. So he came out. He's like, "Hey, everything all right?" I was like, "Nah, man, I don't feel so well." And to make the long story short, I ended up telling him to take me to the hospital, and he started to take me to the hospital. And as I was going to the hospital, he was driving me there. I felt more anxious and more nervous, maybe because I was going to the hospital and like I felt like I was just gonna like roll out of the car in the middle of the street and just like die. I felt horrible, and I got into the hospital. I went into the emergency room there, and then I went into. They told me to check in and everything, and I just stopped responding. Like my body wouldn't respond anymore, and then I just blacked out and I went into like a coma. And the doctors were like running all these tests on me, the cardiologist, the neurologist. They couldn't find anything specific wrong with me. They did see that I had like low potassium or something, something that was mild that wouldn't cause like a severe thing, what I was experiencing. But prior to that, I had a lot of different life experiences that led me up until that point that I was able to identify after going through that. And once I was in the hospital and I got out of the hospital, they checked, they released me, they discharged me. And after that, for the entire next year, which is 2015, the entire year, every average of once a month, I went to the hospital for the same reason, for the same exact reason. And I really felt like I was dying. I felt like I was dying. And I didn't know what was wrong with me because up until this point, I was vegan. I was eating raw foods at the time. I exercised every day. I was a personal trainer when I went into this. I was actually a fitness trainer, very fit, very young. I was 24 years old. And I was very, very confused as to how I would get to this point. Even yoga and meditation, I was practicing yoga and meditation every single day. So I was like, this is impossible. I don't have no anxiety. It's impossible for me to have that. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So, I mean, that's very interesting because we think about, our internal health and taking care of our wellness by changing our diet, changing certain habits, lifestyle habits. But I think what's not talked about a lot is sometimes when you go through that wellness journey and you are changing your eating habits and you are exercising and you are doing these things, it brings up a lot of different emotions and traumas that we've probably suppressed and experienced. So I'm glad that you said that because I think it's important for people to know that when they engage on this journey to kind of take stock of their health and wellness and they begin to change their diets, they begin to exercise, they begin to have a wellness practice like yoga or something, that you can have these things where it's creating sort of sometimes anxiety or depression because now you have a flood of emotions that you've been suppressing with food or you've been suppressing in a sedentary lifestyle and you've been suppressing with these other things that now come up that you have to deal with. So, so take us from, okay, so you're at the hospital and every year from there you were at the hospital and you're like, what's going on? I'm healthy, I'm vegan, I'm doing yoga, I'm a fitness trainer. What was the connection for you that was like, brought you into sound therapy and sound healing?
Well, that is one of my most favorite things to talk about. So interesting enough, when I was in the hospital, the thing that got me through the hospital was sound. It was music. I was in the hospital and I was in the ER. I was in intensive care. I wasn't even in the general section. I was in intensive care because when I went into a coma, they moved me into intensive care. And when I was there, um, I had my iPad and I had headphones with me because I asked my friend to bring it out of my car to me. And he brought it. And the entire time, I didn't even sleep that night because I was scared to go to sleep because I didn't think I was going to wake up. So I barely slept, maybe like 2 hours. The entire time I was on YouTube and I was on Spotify, listening to all my favorite music artists, my favorite music artists. And I would listen to this music and it would just make me feel like I'm not even at the hospital. It made me feel so good. And I thought to myself, I said, you know, if I leave out of this hospital alive, I want to make music, and most importantly, I want to heal others through music. Through using sound, I want to heal people because this is the most powerful thing in the world, and I never want to go back to or get a second chance at life and not use it wisely and go back to the same old things. You know, even though I was helping a lot of people with doing personal training, I learned that personal training is just your physical body. But a lot of these people who come for personal training get to that unhealthy state of their physical body because their mental and their emotional and their spiritual centers are all thrown out of whack. So if you're emotionally traumatized, of course you're going to overeat. Of course you're not going to exercise and take care of your body. So it's going to lead you to coming to see a personal trainer. And I was thinking that me helping people be in shape and get fit and eat better was really solving all their problems because I've always wanted to help people since I was in college. I originally wanted to be a doctor, but I found out the truth about the medical system here. So it changed me up. But um, I learned that, wow, I'm really not helping many people because a lot of my clients would not listen to the things I told them to do. They would work out when they're with me, but they wouldn't do anything on their own. They wouldn't eat the right things. And I'm like, I, I don't feel right just taking their money and them not being able to be better. So what is it like that I'm not doing? I didn't understand. But this experience took me there. And once I left the hospital, I started to research. As I said, you know, if I'm going to leave this earth, I'm going to leave this earth fighting. I'm not going to leave this earth sitting there. Oh, I don't feel good, and you know, because I knew something was wrong. I had anxiety, I know, but it was something that was causing the anxiety, imbalance in minerals and nutrients. I was vegan, but I wasn't a healthy vegan. Wasn't supplementing B12. I wasn't balancing my omega fatty acids. I wasn't eating, you know, anything balanced. I was just eating, you know, I would wake up and I would eat a bagel and I'll eat a bunch of like a big salad, but it wouldn't be a balanced meal, you know, and you have to be very careful when you're vegan because you can get sick when you're vegan if you don't balance your meals right and do all of those things correctly, because it is more specific. So as I'm going through, I'm researching, I research Dr. Sebi. I watch all of his videos. Then I research Dr. Layla Africa. I read all of his books, watch all of his videos. Then I research. Then I learn about sound. And I see this book and it's called The Art of Sound Healing. And I'm like, oh, it's cool. So I start to look into it. And then I see in yoga practices, a lot of them have sound bowls or gongs. And then I'm like, wow. And then something clicked in my head because I was a music artist at the time, and I am a music artist. So at that time, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was an enlightenment moment, but something told me that sound is the answer to all your problems. And it's in my mind, it opened up a light, and I was shown that everything is vibration. And we probably heard this before in the conscious community that everything around us is vibrating matter. My hand is vibrating. It's not solid, even though I can't put my finger through it. It's actually vibrating particles that are moving so fast that I can't put my hand through it. But for instance, a bullet, if somebody shoots your hand with a gun, a bullet will go through. And that's because the energy of a bullet is different from the energy of the hand. It's just different forms of vibration and energy. And once I learned that, I started to read all these books. I mean, I have so many books about sound therapy. I've read so many articles. I went into the Oxford Journal of Medicine where they've done, experiments with sound frequencies on the brain and seen, different brain wave patterns change with different sound or music. And from there, I started to put into the practice of sound therapy, and implementing it into, a healing practice to help people.
Definitely. So now tell us, what is sound therapy?
So sound therapy is a very ancient technique that originates from the East. And places that have originated sound therapy are places such as Thailand, China, as well as Japan. Most commonly known, China. We see a lot of the monks in China and also in Tibet, in different places in Asia, pretty much predominantly Asia. They use gongs, Tibetan singing bowls, which are the bowls that we have, and I'll show you, later on in the episode, different singing bowls and different instruments. And sound therapy is using different sound instruments that are shown to have a healing frequency for the body, playing those instruments on or around the body in order to relax the mind into a relaxed state and promote healing response in the body. So it's the same as when you're scared, your body can't heal when you're in a fight or flight. When you're tensed up and you're all like, ready to fight, your body can't really heal itself because it's always anxious and tight and uptight. So sound helps you to relax those shoulders, relax that mind, and just surrender so your body can, gather the energy to heal itself, because it's not always putting that energy into, fight or flight. It's actually now, oh, well, I can use this energy now that it's not tensed up. I can use it to work on that digestive system or put energy into, maybe that thyroid or something that has been giving you problems that your body hasn't had time to work on.
Right. And I think it's very interesting because I was doing some research on sound therapy, and a lot came up saying that, sound therapy is used to aid and assist people that have anxiety disorders, as you talked about, depression, post-traumatic stress, dementia, autism, learning difficulties, behavioral difficulties, psychiatric disorder, cancers. It lowers stress, decreases mood swings, lowers blood pressure, lowers cholesterol, pain management, lowers the risk for artery disease, strokes, poor sleep, amongst so many other things. So I was just like, wow, that's just amazing, because we don't even think about how sound is really affecting our lives. We have a question. What sound should I listen to for a thyroid condition? And
All
then,
right.
and then what should
Awesome.
I listen to for weight loss?
All righty. So, to answer that first question, the thyroid. So, the thyroid is the gland that regulates the heartbeat. It also regulates body temperature. So, when you're hot and you're cold, hot and you're cold, that also is connected with the thyroid, as well as different body functions such as the metabolism. All right. So, if is that the same person that asked about the weight loss? Is that the
Yes.
same person? Okay. So, all right, we're going to get into how that's connected. All right. So, first, the sound that you want to use to work on your thyroid, which is the throat chakra, because I use the Vedic system, which is chakra. We have 7 energy centers going from the root, which is like right by the anus, all the way up to the top of our head, which is the crown. And each of those centers has a different purpose, and they have different energies and frequencies. And when those centers get thrown off of balance, we use different sounds to help, along with foods, colors, mantras and affirmations, all types of things. But for the throat chakra is C, B, E, C, D, E, F, G. So on the music scale, we have C, B, E, F, G, A, B. So this is the 5th chakra. And we have 7. So 6 is the third eye, and seventh is the crown. So 6th chakra is G. G as in go. G. So any singing bowl musical note, and even on a piano, if you press the piano G note, ding, and you just harmonize with your voice, because your voice is sound therapy. That's the first and the most valuable instrument that all of us have is our voice. So G, the note of G, and that frequency will help work on the throat chakra and help you with thyroid problems as well. There are also different instruments as well that we have at Love and Peace Wellness we use, such as the tuning fork. And I'll grab it. I'll show you.
All right, so let him grab that.
Here we go. So this tuning fork here is a weighted tuning fork. And this tuning fork we place on the body. So we have weighted and then unweighted, which doesn't have these little circles. They don't have it. So this is the weighted with the circles. And the point of these are to place on the different body points, the same as you would with acupuncture. And it helps to send energy and to balance those meridians of the body. So for instance, you would tap it. And this, for instance, would be G. And you would place that right on the thyroid area and breathe in and relax. And when you breathe in for that thyroid area, the throat chakra, you want to imagine a blue light, because the throat chakra is the color blue. Imagine a blue light healing that area of the body. And you want to speak life into that area of the body. I speak my truth. Communication is here, the throat, thyroid, throat. I have no problems receiving from others. I have no shyness in public, speaking in public. So fear of speaking, fear of not being heard, communication, everything communication through voice, through not being heard, or through speaking, over speaking, even too much blunt speaking, speaking, too belligerently to others, that can also throw off your throat chakra as well. And lastly, for the weight connection, because that thyroid has connection to your metabolism, it can also affect your weight. And if you have what you call HYPO thyroidism, that actually makes your body metabolism slow, and it makes it hard for you to lose weight. So by balancing that throat chakra area, eating the right foods, which is nutritional foods, which we have, information about as well too. And then also your nearest nutritionist or dietitian can also help you with the right foods to eat to balance that out. Then also affirmations, exercising, moving the body as well, and doing other things that are detrimental can help to balance that throat chakra and help to get that, intact. But fixing that thyroid through some of those measures will directly affect the weight.
Awesome. Thank you for giving them that. I wanted to add this. I found some slides on Instagram and online. And because we spoke about the frequencies, I wanted to just put up this visual on how energetic frequencies connect to our emotional states, our view of life, and sort of like the feelings that are associated with. So I don't know, you can explain a little bit of what this slide is showing us here, just so that people can understand how the frequencies tie into our emotions and our thoughts of life.
Yes, definitely. So as you see, at the bottom we have shame, which is energetic frequency of 20. And shame is the lowest vibration a person can have. So for instance, think about in the past, way back in the past, when you had in fact, adultery was like a crime in the past, punishable crime. There's a book called The Letter A. And that book that is historical is called The Letter A. Is when someone commits adultery in a town, they would make them wear the letter A on their garment. Everywhere they go, they would have to have that letter A, and everybody would know that that person committed adultery. So because of this punishable act, the worst punishable act deemed by that community at that time, they used an act of shame to punish that person. They didn't kill them. They didn't, put them in jail. They literally just made them wear a letter A, and everybody knew that stood for adultery. So shame and humiliation is what brings, it's like the lowest of low you can have. You never want to be have shame of yourself, shame of what you've done, because that brings you to that low frequency. And of course, guilt, having guilt for something, because a person can be, yeah, I'm guilty, but they cannot be shameful of what they've done. So as you see, it moves up. And then you have apathy and despair, which is, view of life looking as hopeless, not having a lot of hope, kind of just being, whatever. I'm not going to be good anyway at this. Might as well not even try. And then you keep moving up to grief, which is grief comes from, regret associated with the emotional state regret, and the view of life is tragic. So grief can be something that very detrimental as well too. For a lot of those people who experience, during this year of 2020, a lot of grief. You have to release that grief. It's okay to grieve, but grieve in order to release that. Don't grieve and let that grief take over your physical body, because it can actually lead you to a low energetic frequency. And keep in mind that anything under that green, even though we have some okay things in that yellow, but I say anything under green you shouldn't sit there too long, because that's where disease manifests in the body. Because the disease manifests from an imbalance of vibration. So
So
the
I have
heart,
a question.
yeah.
So say I'm suffering from like shame and guilt. Can I get sound therapy and using the frequencies of the higher vibrations? Can I use that to just jump to, say, joy if I'm currently resonating at shame and guilt?
Yeah, so you actually can. For a lot of people, it doesn't happen that fast, and it actually takes time. So it's just like having a broken leg, and you take time, you go to rehab, you go, 2 times a week, 3 times a week, you work on that broken leg. You start to walk a little bit, but you need a cane. Then you drop the cane, and now you're starting to do a light power walk, and then you jog, and then you run. So it's similar to that, although it is definitely possible to go from shame and guilt to joy, because that's called a spiritual breakthrough. And that actually does happen sometimes when people have blockages and they come get a sound experience, with Love and Peace Wellness, and they might be holding on to something. Maybe they were having molestation. Maybe they got molested when they were a young child, and they've been holding that in and haven't cried to release that. They just been bottling it up. Or maybe
Right.
they have abuse, in their past. Once they get that sound experience, sometimes it only takes one time, and they just start crying, or they just start like, just smiling with tears of joy, and they're experiencing that joy, even though it may be for, 5 minutes. They actually went from shilt, I said shilt, guilt
Mhm.
and shame, all the way to joy, even periodically. So we don't want it to be periodic here. We want it to be long lasting. So that would involve like a person doing it, over 2 to 3 month span, coming and getting it consistently to get to stay in joy. So you get to joy, and you can be joyful every day, all day.
Right. And then I saw this and I thought this was like, it's sort of like the same thing, but having every emotion has a frequency. So it's like when we have, these emotional experiences, we are vibrating, on these frequencies. It's pretty much like the same side. But I just thought that was very interesting on how our emotions kind of dictate the way that we vibrate as, beings. So I just thought that was very interesting. So thank you for your insight on that. Steve said he does have hypothyroidism. So he's thankful for
Look at
that
that.
information. All right. So I know you had a demo for us, and I'm super excited for this demo on the sound healing, because it's just one thing to talk about it, but obviously, to experience it is a whole other experience. And I personally have done been in sessions where you have done like the sound healing at different frequencies, and it's just been like an amazing experience. I wanted to be able to share that with our viewers today.
All right, awesome. So I'm going to grab a couple of my instruments here, and we're going to be doing something very light today. It's going to be a few minutes, about 10 minutes, and it's going to involve using your healing voices as well. The entire audience, I want all of you to participate because I'm going to show you how powerful sound is when it's being administered, but then I'm also going to show you how powerful sound is from your own inner self. So these tips and things that I'm going to show you all, you can practice them at home and do them amongst your own self. And you don't even need to go and seek, sound therapy from someone. If you say you don't have the time, or maybe you're not in the right place where you have that available, you can do these things at home. So I'm going to grab those really quick.
All right, now while he's grabbing that, and since we're on the topic of sound, just want to feature album from local artists. I don't know if you guys can see it. We got the Hemp Goddess and DJ Raw, their hit single, Keep It Moving. It is out on available for sale. And they actually were on our show a couple weeks ago talking about their Ghetto Grow Your Own initiative. So if you would love to hear their song, Keep It Moving, their hit single, just shout out to them and you can get it. And their website is Broward420.com. And that's where you can get their hit single, Keep It Moving, right? I listen to it and I'd be jamming. So that's a part of my sound therapy when I need motivation, right?
Yeah. All righty. So I have the instruments, everyone. So this is going to be the first thing I'm going to play here. All right. So this is a Tibetan singing bowl. So you probably, wonder why it looks like this, because the ones you might see may have different designs and different embroidery, and it might look a little bit more well groomed than this one. This one's kind of beat up, right? Well, this is because this is a hand beaten Tibetan bowl. It's called hand hammer, and they actually melt down a bunch of different metals. This being 92% copper and 7% tin. The rest of those metals are trace metals. So silver, you have gold, you have aluminum, you have zinc. All of those different things are in here, but this is mainly copper and tin. And they actually melt it down, and then while it's cooling, they're hammering it. And that's why you see these hammer marks all over. And they get it to a resonance where it vibrates at a certain frequency. And this here is this frequency of this bowl is the C frequency. And C frequency, C note is for the root chakra. So right now I want you to take a deep breath. Keep your spine upright if you're sitting down. And if you're laying down, just relax. But most importantly, I want you to focus on the breath and breathe deep and release. Continue to focus on the breath as I play the sounds from the sound bowl. And as you hear the sound, just let the sound resonate and vibrate within. Alrighty. So this is the Tibetan bowl, and that was a little bit of a demo um, of the Tibetan bowl. And you also can place this on your body. So if you're laying down, you can place it and you can hit it while it's on your body, and you will feel the vibration very deep inside your body. And you can also, with this bowl, because it's large enough, you can place it on your head, and you can hit the bowl while it's on your head, and that goes straight to the mind, straight to the brain, and it directly contributes to relaxation. So the second instrument we have here is something that we're all probably more familiar with, and this is the crystal singing bowl. Now, this singing bowl is made from the quartz crystal, exactly like the crystals that a lot of us wear. This is a clear quartz crystal, and the quartz crystal is good for basically the mothership of crystals. Every crystal comes from the quartz, from the clear quartz, and clear quartz can be directed towards anything. So any energy that you put into a clear quartz, it can help grow that energy and amplify it. So if I want this to be love, I want to feel love, I just hold that clear quartz crystal and I breathe in and I tell myself, love, I am love, I am love, love. And it's just helping me to amplify that feeling of love. So this also can be very tricky because it can work towards you in a negative way. If you have anger or even, some kind of dark emotion, like we were talking about, shame, grief, and you're wearing a quartz crystal, and you're not intentionally using this quartz crystal to help you get out of those feelings or vibrations, it will amplify your shame, your guilt. It will just amplify it. That's simply what it knows to do. It says, I'm here to grow whatever is already here, unless you tell me to do otherwise. So this is quartz. Now with these sound bowls, we have different frequencies as well. These crystal quartz singing bowls, we have, this one is F. As you can see that, this is the F note for the heart chakra. The heart is the fourth chakra. And a lot of people know a lot about this relating to the number 4. So if a person studies numerology, they know 4 is an angel number. And such as Jay-Z's album that he made, his last album, it was called 444. And it's like, interesting. What? Jay-Z must know some stuff, 444. And a lot of people wonder why he named his album that, but it could be because of the fourth chakra and the number 4 and its significance. But we won't know until we talk to Jay-Z now. And I don't know anybody that knows him. So we'll just think that until we know for sure. But I'm going to play this singing bowl here for you. And as we go through this short sound demonstration with the crystal singing bowl, I want you to breathe in and envision a love energy. I want you to envision your heart chakra and envision a green light spinning clockwise in the heart center. So right in the heart center, right about here, envision that green light spinning clockwise and growing brighter and brighter as you say to yourself, I am love. I receive love. I am love. I am love. Alrighty. So go ahead and just close your eyes and take a deep breath in and release with a nice exhale. Take another deep breath in with the erect spine. Make sure you keep your spine straight. And release. All right. So that was the crystal singing bowl. And lastly, this involves you all. So together, we're going to do something called sound healing with the voice. And this is going to involve using the voice, and we're going to use vowel sounds to help tone and balance our chakras. So this is something that you can use at home. So if you want to record this or log back in um, after this video is shared on YouTube or cultivatelife.com, feel free to definitely log back in and view this video again if you want to, practice this. And you also can write these vowel sounds down to practice on your own. And it takes about 3 minutes to do, even less, depending on how many times you do it for each chakra. So the vowel sound for the root chakra is like up, up. All right. So we're gonna breathe in, take a deep breath in, and when we release that breath, we're gonna release with All right. So on the count of three, taking that deep piranha, that deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. Great. So that was for the root chakra. UH. The second chakra is the sacral. And the second chakra is U. Ooh. U. You can spell the letter U out so you can remember the sound it makes is ooh, ooh. So ooh. So take in that deep breath on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And release. Ooh. Oh man, that feels so great. Alrighty, so moving on to the next chakra, the sacral chakra, which is right, or the solar plexus, my apologies, solar plexus, which is right in your stomach. And it has to do with your intuition and your digestion, that inner willpower. All right, so that one is O. So I write down the word go, G-O, to remember the sound O. Breathe in deep. 1, 2, 3. Take in that piranha. Oh. Good. All right, now to that heart chakra, which is the fourth chakra. And that sound is ah, ah. Like when you're about to eat some food, you open it up, ah. I write down M-A, like ma, ma, ma. That helps me to remember this sound. Alrighty, so taking in that deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Great. Now for the throat chakra, which is very important for that communication. Like we talked about earlier, for the thyroid, and also the lymphatic system is connected to this area of your body as well too. It goes right through, so your lymph nodes as well. The sound for that is I, like the letter I. So for me, I put my, my, and my helps remember I, my, I. All right, take in deep breath and release. Great. Almost there. We have 2 more chakras left. So now we're at the third eye. Sing through the veil, seeing the reality of the world, seeing, being able to see clearly, having clarity in life, in your life journey. So the sound for the third eye, which is the sixth chakra, is A, as in apple, as in A. So you can just write the letter A, and that's what I use to help remember that sound. And I use the word actually A-Y-E, like A. All right, so taking that deep pranayama, A. Great. So we have made it to the seventh chakra, and that is the crown chakra. And that is your communication between the ancestors, the spiritual realm, and receiving downloads, receiving like enlightenment moments. And that is the last chakra. And it also deals with the enlightenment. So in a lot of pictures and biblical times, as well as different cultures and religions, we see the halo of light around the head. And that represents enlightenment. And that shows that their crown chakra, which is the seventh chakra, is open. And in order to unlock that crown chakra, you have to move through all of those other six chakras, all the way up to the crown, and then you reach enlightenment. So think of shame as being the lowest chakra, the root chakra. And as you move up to joy, which joy was around the throat area, you go all the way up to bliss. Bliss represents that enlightenment. Alrighty, so the sound for the seventh chakra, which is the crown chakra, is E, E, just the letter E. E. All right, taking that pranayama. And that is how you balance the chakras with vowel sounds. Now, I have been to school for this, and I have been formally educated. I have certifications and everything. So sound therapy, it's not board regulated. So you don't have to go to school to play a sound bowl. You can learn amongst yourself. But I just want to let you all know that this is something I have studied. I have read many books. I've went to school for it, taken examinations and certification tests, and am moving into doing music therapy, which actually helps with the cognitively disabled children as well as adults. So I'm moving into the clinical side to really get down to the nitty gritty and really help people with this sound healing. So if you have any questions, Love and Peace Wellness Center, like, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you and everything, that you've done here today.
I'm just so grateful for you, and I was just doing the sounds and that brief demo was just so uplifting. Thank you so much. And definitely check out Peace at Love and Peace Wellness Center if you are local in South Florida. They're located in Lauderhill, Florida. Do you want to shout out the
So it
address
is
real quick?
2451 North State Road 7, and that is in Lauderhill, Florida. 2451 North State Road 7 in Lauderhill, Florida. And the zip code is 33313. And the area, to make you familiar, if you know where Oakland Park Boulevard is, we're not too far. We're a few blocks away from Oakland Park Boulevard on 441. There's a dry cleaners next to us. We're in a shopping plaza called Lauderhill Square Plaza, and there across the street is a Pizza Hut. Don't eat there. Just eat if you want it. But yeah, so Dutch Pot is across the street as well. Chin Medical Center is next door. So we're in a very central part of the community, Lauderhill, which is underserved for this stuff, especially what we do here. So we definitely encourage you to come visit us and just visit our website as well too. We have a lot of great like organic herbal products and different things. We do sell sound instruments as well too. So if you want to get any sound instruments, you can contact Love and Peace Wellness directly. Follow our Instagram, Love and Peace Wellness, Facebook, Love and Peace Wellness. And yeah, just like practice that sound. Know that sound is everything. Literally is the answer to all our life's problems. And as you saw on the chart, shame is a vibration, and most people don't know that when they're feeling like anger or shame or these feelings, that they actually resonate in your body and are vibrations that are in your body. So when you're a low vibrating being, you're not sick. You just need to raise your vibration. And once you raise that vibration up, then your body will start to release. And that's simply it. That is simply it. So there you see the address. Definitely check us out. I love you all. Thank you so much, Makiba, for having me
Thank
on this
you.
amazing, interview. It's the first time I've talked this in depth about sound, because a lot of people don't know about it. So I usually generalize it a lot because a lot of people don't really know the power of it. And if I go into depth in a short amount of time, some people is like, I only got like a minute with them. They're like, hey, what's sound therapy? And I can't go into this whole thing we went into.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, well, it's basically using the art of sounds to help relax your mind so your body can heal. But I'm so grateful for you and having me on here. So now I have something to refer people to. He's like, check out this interview and watch it. And it's an hour, and it will literally help you to understand the in-depth power of sound and vibration. And like, it's so much even more to it. Like, it's a whole workshop that could be done from this thing, to where even food has vibrations, frequencies. Food is
Yes,
sound therapy, and as well as water, your water that you drink. You can play sound instruments on your water, like the didgeridoo or the singing bowl. You can put water in that singing bowl and play it, and it will actually make that water, the frequency of the water, change into water, that healing water.
it's so funny you just mentioned that, because I had a last slide that I wanted to show. And this is from Master Eramoto's book, Hidden
And
Messages of Water, and just how our own speech carries the vibration. And in the book, they did these tests and they put the sound and they did the frequency and they spoke. And you could actually do this in your house. You can put labels on. I think it was like rice that they had, like cooked rice, and you put labels, and you can put the labels of like evil or whatever, and then you'll see the purity of the rice. Some of it will go moldy and some of it will stay pure just by that frequency that that word carries. So I think it's just really important. And as you mentioned, there could be like a whole discourse on this. I do want to get to a couple of them. Steve wants to know if you have a playlist of these sounds.
I have on our YouTube, Love and Peace Wellness, YouTube, we have a sacral chakra sound healing that we did. And we're in the act of recording more sound healings. Actually, today, I think we're going to record a root chakra. So if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you will get the notification when we upload, new sound videos. And we are in the act of actually putting those sound healings up and recording more of them. We just got a microphone not too long ago, and we are, have the right lighting and the camera and everything. So we're actually now beginning to do that, because a lot of people have requested it. And now it's like, all right, let's just do it.
Awesome. And it's just so amazing what you guys are doing down in the community, and just exposing the knowledge to our people, because I think that we really need it. We really need to boost and just elevate higher vibrations all the time in our lives. And we didn't even get to talk about drums and how the drums connect to us.
Like I said, it's a whole workshop. Like, it's literally like, get your, like, if you got the kids, take the kids to grandma's house or cousin or auntie, and you going for 3 days for a workshop, because it literally is so in depth. Like, it's so in depth. It goes to the roots. Our ancestors used to sing hymns. Like, even in like slavery, the ancestors sang in the fields. They sang hymns, and they did things that it's all sound healing to help them get through those treacherous times. Drums in Africa, we have the drum that is used in ritual ceremonies, and that is used to celebrate everything. And I play the West African djembe. So Well, I just play West African percussion in general. So with the African percussion, it is used to celebrate everything. So every different type of song in the West African culture with the drumming represents something. They have a song for death to celebrate death because they don't celebrate the death, they celebrate life, you know. So they have that. They have when you have a new child is born, they have harvest, which is Kasa, and you play Kasa, and that represents the harvest, the gathering, the feast, you know. Such it's something that could be played in Kwanzaa when you're about to, you know, eat with the family. There's so many different things that like it goes so in depth, and it's like sometimes I'm like, I wish I had like, you know, just all the time in the world. But for you all that are watching, with the information that you got, I just want you to all utilize it. You know, just with the things that we talked about today, use your own voice to heal. You know, you can sing. Singing is just training the vocals and you know your the muscles, which is vocal cords are just muscles. It's just training them to release air and bring in air at a certain rate, and that's it. But you don't have to be Michael Jackson to do the thing that we just did. Oh, ooh. And if they think you're crazy when you're doing it, tell them to join you. Say, hey, watch this. Come do this with me. And then both of you will do it, and then you'll be like, whoa, like I feel kind of like dizzy, but it's because oxygen is getting to your brain. It's because your body is actually changing vibration so fast. So that's what the monks do. The monks use the Om, which everybody probably is used to. That's actually the same type of thing we just did. That's a mantra, Om, and Om is the heart chakra. So utilize your voice and then come to get a sound therapy if you've never experienced it before. It is the best investment you could ever have in your life.
Well, thank you so much for your information. It was very informative. Thank you for the demo. Just thank you for everything. And we'll have you back on the show to spread more of the information.
Yes, thank you so much. And all of you have a blessed day. Thank you, Makiba. Cultivate Life. Make sure you go check it out, follow and support this amazing queen and all that she's doing for the community. And thank you for thinking of me.
Of course, of course. Thank you. All right, well, that's our show for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. And of course, if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Facebook, follow us, Cultivate Life, Instagram, and visit our website, www.cultivatelife.com, for more information and the replays of our shows. Until then, be well, stay well, cultivate life.